Hi, everybody. This is Mike Kerr, and this is today's edition of the Recon Report, where we cover just a few of the top stories that are out there with things that you should be thinking about. We're going to get started today, but before we do, please subscribe to our channel. Click the bell so you're alerted when we put up new shows on Hear the Watchman Journey. We're doing new shows every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes multiple shows. So please subscribe to our channel. To start off today, we have a very, very disturbing story about kids and video games. You know, we've all talked about the video games and what they do to our children. And now with the lockdown that we have in several states across the country, it's heating up. And what it's doing, the porn industry and the child sex trafficking industry is ramping up to normalize sex in young children. There is a new video game. It is a digital sex party game for kids, where what they do is they go into what's called a den, and the den is showcased with an assortment of sex toys. They have a private room that they can enter into that is furnished only with beds. They have a basement in this den that is furnished with torch-lit sex dungeon paraphernalia. Within the first 2 hours that this particular game opened up for kids to play, 600 signed on. New players of this game start with a choice. They can pick boy, girl, or other. I'm not really sure what other is, but you know, this is the transgender confused snowflake generation. And this is just proliferating that thinking and mentality in our youth across America. Once they get into this game and they've decided whether they're a boy, girl, or other, they select one of the first two options: immediately strip your clothes and be transported poolside. By clicking other, you're placed in a clothed room where there's a display of sex toys. Avatars, meaning the like little cartoon characters they play with, could choose amongst 25 different body positions and movements, most all of them simulating sex acts. Males could also incongruously choose push-ups. Push-ups. Beer and boom boxes are also available for them to choose. Now, this, folks, is, I mean, this is what is going on in America. This is what your kids are doing in their rooms. Okay, you think that they're playing video games like, you know, like we see on TV and all that. They're not. This is what they're doing. And this is where the New World Order is trying to change our children's thinking and normalize sex acts like this. Kids as young as 10 years old are doing this. There is no age limit. Any child, anybody can get into these dens and participate in this activity. So listen, parents, pay attention to what your kids are doing. Pay attention to what's going on their computers. Don't allow video games to simply be a babysitter while you're downstairs working. So make sure you're paying attention to that and protect your kids. Now, here's another story that came out, and God bless her, Lisa Haven talked about this. It's just frightening. You know, she predicted that once mandated forced masks came in effect, they'd be here to last a year or years. Now out in Arizona, in Maricopa County, and Maricopa County, folks, encompasses most of the greater Phoenix area, Scottsdale, and it goes north of Phoenix. It's a very large county in Arizona. And what they've done is they have this mask mandate in place. And let me just get this here so that you can truly understand that you need to stand up and fight against this dictatorship that's going on. If it's going on in Maricopa County, it's coming to your county, into your city, into your town, if you don't stand up. So they put out, Maricopa County Public Health recommends that the mask requirement be kept in place until one of two situations occurs. There is no community spread of COVID-19 documented in the Maricopa County as defined by a 28-day period where no new COVID-19 cases are reported, or COVID vaccine, we all know about that, is widely available, and 40% of the population has been vaccinated. They go on to say, if there is no COVID-19 circulating, then masks are not required to prevent the spread. Well, duh, you know, I mean, come on. If there's a vaccine and approximately 40% of the population is vaccinated, which is about the same as gets vaccinated for the flu every year, there will be enough immunity to prevent the rapid increase in cases. Additionally, those who are at the highest risk will be able to protect themselves with a measure of social distancing. What they're saying, and according to Lisa Haven, and you can check Lisa out, we all know where to find her, just Google Lisa Haven. According to her and what's going on, they are looking at masks for over a year. And what's happened out in Maricopa County is they have conditioned the sheeple to think that they need a mask at all times. It's like 113 degrees in Phoenix. I talked to my daughter who lives out there and asked her what it's like. I mean, she's going to medical school right now to become some sort of physical rehabilitation specialist or something like that, a doctor. And I asked her about it, and she said, yeah, Dad, it's absolutely crazy out here. And I said, what's it like to wear a mask when you have to go around in 113-degree weather? And she said, Dad, quite simply, I don't go out. I stay home. I stay in the air conditioning. Her final year, her final semester is going to be 100% online. So, I mean, just look at what this whole COVID madness is doing. Check out Lisa Haven. Find out from her what's really going on and what you can do. She has a petition available online that you can get involved in to stop this tyranny that's sweeping across the country. Moving on, here's something that's just, in my opinion, frightening. Elon Musk, you know, SpaceX, Tesla, you know, just the mad scientist, so to speak. He thinks that we are very far from understanding what's happening in our brain. However, what he wants to do is he wants to create a USB-C port in your brain. That's his vision for brain-machine interfaces, BMI. It's a controversial July 2019 white paper where he claimed that his company, Neuralink, had taken a huge step towards building a scalable, high bandwidth BMI system for your brain. What it would do is it would let the human brain stream full broadband electrophysiology data to a network using a combination of ultrafine polymer probes, a neurosurgical robot that sews them into the brain, and custom high density electronics. I mean, here it is, AI, big time AI coming out. You know, I mean, what do we do? I mean, what do we do about that? You know, you stand up, you say, no, absolutely not. We are not doing this. I am not going to let this happen. I am not going to participate in this. I think it's an incredibly stupid idea. Think about this. If you're going to upload the information from your brain, you know, into some network, come on. I mean, our free thought is gone. But this again is what the New World Order wants, to control us all. Now, moving to another frightening story. I hate to be frightening stories all day long, but in Costa Mesa, California, over the past couple of days, there's a very muddy story that's breaking, and that is that 5 people were arrested for not wearing masks in a store. The store owner locked them into the store and then called the police. The police came out and arrested them, and then also arrested the store owner. Now, do you see like where this is all going? I mean, the hysteria behind all of this, that a store owner would lock customers in their store. I mean, that's kidnapping. I mean, that's incarceration. He locked them in the store, you know. Now, like I said, it's a muddy story right now, and we're following it, trying to find out the exact facts and details. But again, it's something that shows where we're going in America, because we won't stand up. You must stand up for your rights. You must understand that the health authority cannot institute a law. It can't happen. Laws have to be voted in. So look, stand up. Know your rights. It's important, because don't be one of the sheeple that's just getting rounded up. For what our next story, or in a few minutes, our story is really going to frighten you about what's going on in Australia. But before we get to that, California, it's burning again. Northern California, a series of fast-moving fires in the San Francisco Bay Area and in other parts of Northern California, caused by intense lightning storms, or so they say, exploded overnight, burning homes and causing thousands to flee. Okay, so where do these thousands of people go during this COVID madness in California is my questions. The newest fire stretched from the wine country to the Santa Cruz Mountains, moving with ferocious speed amid an intense heat wave. They're burning up in California, not from the fires, just from the heat, that also brought rolling blackouts. So PG&E, which is the power company up in Northern California, is shutting down power to all these areas to prevent what they say is sparking that would create more fires. You know, now imagine the madness of that. You're trying to evacuate, you're trying to figure out what to do, and the power's being shut down everywhere you go. I mean, it's just craziness. You know, smoke from the fires has caused terrible air quality in the region. So, I mean, what good would your mask do in that situation? Yeah, it'll protect you from the smoke, but, you know, I mean, come on. It's just, I can't imagine. Many of the fires were believed caused, as I said, by lightning. I don't know. You know, we all have our theories on that. Northern and Central California began experiencing unusually active sequences of largely dry lightning. And for those of you that don't know what dry lightning is, that's when there's no rain accompanying it in a thunderstorm. It's just lightning that occurs, and it wreaks havoc. Sunday morning, the most widespread and violent in recent memory in the Bay Area on one of the hottest nights in the year. This is the lightning storms hit. A climate scientist with UCLA and the National Atmospheric Research Institute was astounded. So we don't know what's going on really out there, but I mean, this is an oddity that they're having these lightning storms. And again, we got to look at it and look at where we are in prophecy with all this, you know. I mean, this is what, second year in a row that California burned. So we can all say things like about Sodom and Gomorrah and all that. I mean, but listen, the state's burning up. Now this is scary. In Australia, Australian authorities give themselves the power now to remove children from parents to ensure COVID compliance. They can take your kid away and they can take them and put them in a hospital, or they can put them in a quarantine center. They don't even have to say anything to you. You know, I mean, it's just insane, you know, what they're doing. A authorized officer may, for the purpose of ensuring compliance with any direction under this section, section 25, remove a child from any premises, place, vehicle, or vessel to place of residence of the child, or to a hospital or quarantine facility as the officer thinks fit, and may in doing so use force as reasonably necessary. So this officer, this health officer, gets a bad cup of coffee. He's in a bad mood. It's 100% up to him whether he takes your child out of your house in Australia. Scary, scary thing. And a child is defined as anyone under 18 years of age. Yesterday, authorities in Melbourne announced that they would be using surveillance drones to catch people who don't wear masks and to keep track of cars that travel further than 5 kilometers from home. Several videos have also emerged of police manhandling and choking women for not wearing masks. Police have also been given the power to enter people's homes without a warrant to perform quarantine spot checks. So look, that's happening in Australia right now. What is to prevent that from happening here in the States? The only thing that can prevent that is you and I. We can try to prevent that. But here again is the madness sweeping across the nation, looking into this and seeing that in America, we're on the cusp of something like this. Why? Because we believe what mainstream media is saying. I want you to start looking at the alternative media. Start looking at Drudge. It's as good as it can be. Go to Steve Quayle's site. Follow Lisa Haven. Follow Dave Hodges. Follow us here on the Recon Report. Listen to what's really going on out there that you're not necessarily going to hear through other outlets. And now to end the report today, let's talk about something that is rather funny and bizarre, but also shows the extremes that we can go to in all of this hysteria. Governor Janet Mills, servers must now wear face shields upside down so their breath is directed up, not down. She basically wants you to wear a dog collar. I mean, that's what she wants a server to do. This is the peak of insanity. Now, look, I mean, I wish this was a joke, but it's no joke. It's what's happening. Can you imagine going into a restaurant and seeing someone with one of those dog cones or the cones they give you when you go to the vet to keep your pet from like licking their wound? I mean, that's the insanity of it. It reminds me of the Jetsons, the cartoon that I used to watch as a kid, where Mrs. Jetson had a dress with a real high thing up here like that, a cone. You know, I mean, this is what's happening across America. And we can stop it, but we can't stop it if we're quiet. We have to get out there. We have to vote. We know what the liberals want. We know it. Now we have to defend our way of life. And that's just the way it is. So that's going to wrap it up today for the Recon Report, August 19th on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. I hope you guys are all doing well in your homes and you're safe. And remember to trust in the Lord. We're going to get through this. If we stick together, we are going to get through this. So listen, we'll see you all tomorrow on the next edition of the Recon Report.